In a place you've probably never heard of are whispered warnings from the ruins of a once great empire. This is Bante Chamar, Cambodia, and project director John Sanday is leading CNN on a tour of its relics. It's the first time a professional television crew has been allowed at the site, and it is spectacular.
This is one of the most prized pieces of all Khmer art. It is the Avalokitesvara, the multi-handed Buddha, and there's some really wonderful details in here. I love this piece, the image of the Buddha in one of the hands, the first of the hands. It's almost alive.
Sanday is currently leading a team of Cambodians to preserve its history.
So over here you can see this was the condition that we found this whole platform. So this is just a rough plan, actually, of what we're standing on, to give you some idea.
He says at its height, some 900 years ago, this city, along with Angkor Wat, helped make up the Great Khmer Empire.
The Khmer Empire was the greatest of its kind, certainly at the time. The very size of this empire, people freely quote 1 million inhabitants in Angkor, for example, and you check it out as to, in your history books, as to the number of people, for example, in the city of London, and it was around 80,000.
So how did this mighty civilization end up in a heap of intricately carved rubble? According to Sanday and other leading scientists, the answer may lie partly with the weather and the water.
And it's certainly very evident in Angkor that there were major changes in the climate.
At around the same time, Europe was suffering through the Little Ice Age, starting in the 1300s. Southeast Asia was dealing with the impact of its own changing weather patterns.
With the presence of ice ages and areas which were getting heated up more, it seems that here in Cambodia there was likely that there was a drought, and the water systems were probably silting up, and as it's very evident that water plays a very important role. The weather changes had a fairly drastic effect on this area in particular.
Mega droughts exposed the empire to civic, economic, and military unrest, and eventually forced Khmer's rulers to leave their cities. John Sanday worries changes in the weather are already leading to changes in the way of life around Bante Chamar.
I think that the importance of water is still critical, as critical as it was then, and we're faced with major problems.
The benefit for us, unlike the great empires of the past, the future of our great cities isn't yet written in stone. Brooke Baldwin, CNN.